Former Vice President Kamala Harris is slamming President Trump. In her first sit-down interview since leaving office, she accused him of committing executive overreach. Listen.
At some point, they've got to stand up for the sake of the people who rely on all of these institutions to have integrity and to, at some point, be the guardrails against a tyrant who is using the federal government to execute his whim and fancy because of a fragile ego.
CBS News Executive Director of White House and Politics, Fin Gomez, has more on this. Fin, good morning to you. You know, it's interesting to see the former vice president out in public now making the TV rounds. What really jumped out at you from this interview?
Yeah, Errol, good morning. Along with her line about her attack towards President Trump, and really, it reminds you of that very bitter battle there for those 107 days that she details ahead of the election last year. But Harris was also asked, Errol, about her relationship with former President Joe Biden in the book. Harris described Biden's decision to run for re-election as, quote, recklessness. She wrote in her book as well, the stakes were simply too high. This wasn't a choice that should have been left to an individual's ego, an individual's ambition. It should have been more than a personal decision. Harris told MSNBC last night that she took responsibility for contributing to that, quote, recklessness, Errol. She said that when she wrote this, it was because she had a certain responsibility that she should have followed through on. And so when she talks about that recklessness, as much as anything, she says she points to herself. She's talking about herself. She also offered a somewhat tepid endorsement, of Zohran Mamdani, the Democrat in the New York mayoral race. Yeah. She said that she supported the Democrat in the race, somewhat tepid there, but she also pointed out there were a lot of stars in the Democratic Party as well, which I found interesting.
Yeah, and Finn, she also tried to clear up an excerpt in her book where she explains why she didn't choose Pete Buttigieg, former transportation secretary, as her running mate. Let's just quickly listen to that.
In 107 days, in one of the most hotly contested elections for President of the United States, against someone like Donald Trump, who knows no floor, to be a black woman running for President of the United States and as a vice presidential running mate, a gay man, with the stakes being so high, it made me very sad, but I also realized it would be a real risk.
So she's effectively saying there the stakes were too high. What do we make of that?
Yeah, Errol, when this excerpt first broke, former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg did respond. He said that he was, quote, surprised to read that passage from Harris's book. But he said that in his experience in politics has been that the way that you earn trust with voters is based mostly on what they think you're going to do for their lives and not on categories. And also, if just a quick note, Buttigieg is someone many Democrats I have spoken to say they could see as a potential contender in 2028. But that part in the VP vetting process, getting a lot of news out of this book, Errol.
All right, Finn, with the latest on all of this. Thank you very much.